Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe, now redubbed by Disney, our current Lucasfilm, Legends. So, today I have for you Book 15 in the new Jedi Order series, the epic fight against the Yuuzhan Vong, Force Heretic, Book 1, Remnant. We have our first trilogy, and only trilogy, in this series. And after that, we only have 2 novels. And then we will finish the entire Yuuzhan Vong arc. It is written by Shane Williams and Shane Dix. This is going to be probably a much shorter video. I don't have too much to say about this book in particular. I have a few notes. For non-spoiler, what I will say for this book is that the catalyst for this book kind of is that Luke wants to go find the planet that Verge, whatever, the thing, the frickin', the teacher to Jason while he's captured by the Yuuzhan Vong. They want to go find the planet that they talk about in Destiny's Way. But it's apparently a living planet, and it moved away. And where do you need to go find that? In the unknown regions. So we have a couple plots going on here, because before they can get to that main plot that they tease here about going to that planet, they go meet up with the Luke, Mara, Jason, and maybe I'm missing someone, Danny Quee, maybe? I don't mind remembering that wrong. And Saba, the reptilian guy, person thing, they're all trying to, they end up, because they're going to talk to the Imperials first, to try to make some sort of alliance with them. And stuff happens there. We have Han, Leia, Tahiri, and they're going on their own separate adventure. We get stuff going on with Jag Fell and Jaina Solo. And they're doing their own thing. Those stuff gets intertwined here and there. And then we have this whole separate side story with Nominor down in the underbellies of Coruscant, which still shows a bit of, the metal and stuff that was there before the Yuuzhan Vong came, because he's now amongst the Shamed Ones because he escaped in the last book, as he always does. And his was probably one of the most interesting parts, along with, of course, seeing Admiral Pelion again, and all of that was always good. And I really like Jack Fell and Jaina together, so that stuff was getting more of that, seeing more of the relationship, getting little more sprinkles of the Chiss was also fun. And we got some returning villains, even though they didn't really return and they're only there for like a second, but it's really cool to see that. And we're getting teased with another one up next. So, one thing I disliked about this book very heavily, I did not care for it in the slightest. I hate it. There are no chapters in this book. There are sections. There are 4 parts to this book. And then it's just like one long, continuous chapter. I don't like that. I like having the chapters because I feel like, every time I finish a chapter, I feel like I've accomplished something. But I kept checking time with this because it just kept going on and on. And I did like this more than I liked Balance Point for a lot of reasons. But the way they structured that, I just did not enjoy. There's also parts of it that I just did find sort of boring, and I was checking time. Not as much as I did during Allegiance or Choices of One. Still haven't found a book worse than those 2 yet. But I just was not having a good time with some of it. But then there was also a lot of good stuff, like with Admiral Pelion, and stuff with Jason and Pelion, surprisingly, like weird conversations. Seeing Nominor in him in the underbelly and stuff, and all that was all really, really good, and I enjoyed that. The Jag Fell and Jaina was fine. It was fun. they're teasing stuff going on with Tahiri. Something's wrong with Tahiri. We don't know what, but that there is stuff being teased in this book about something going on with her. Maybe it's related to stuff that happened in Edge of Victory. I don't know. I'll have to read more to find out. But that's essentially the non-spoiler thing I can talk about for this book. But overall, it was a really good book. I hate the structure of the book. I did find some of it to be tedious, but overall, it was a good read. Still, nothing has been better than Edge of Victory, Vector Prime, and especially Traitor. That's like my top tier right now for the new Jedi Order series, at least. Phenomenal book, but this was good. Not the best. Better than Balance Point, in my opinion. Again, I like Balance Point. I don't want to get people misconstrued to make them think I didn't enjoy it. I enjoy Balance Point. But, with everything I've read, Balance Point is my least favorite in the new Jedi Order series so far. So, but that's about it for non-spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, it's time for you to check out, because I'm about to spoil. So, you have been warned. They have the Galactic Alliance. They kind of set that up in the last book. They're going to have some sort of Galactic Alliance. But then they also have GFOFA, which is my abbreviation for the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances, which is now starting to sound a bit more like Star Trek, which weird. But I really like it. I like that it's no longer the New Republic. I like that, Luke is trying to get the Empire to join this Galactic Federation of Free Alliances. Nominor is the best Vong, I think, in my opinion. He's been in every book since book 1, and I find him really fascinating. He's more fascinating than any Vong to me. Because he's one of those slimy politicians, you've seen like Game of Thrones, or Babylon 5, or any sort of show like that, where he will do anything he can to get into power. He'll do anything he can to stay in power, to get higher up. And he doesn't care about what he has to do that. And you see him be with these, at first, he meets this guy down in the underbelly, this shamed one, this disgusting filth. And, he's willing to manipulate and talk to him to get what he wants. But then, I don't remember if he calls him one of us. Are you one of us? Or calls him Nominor. Now you're one of us, or something like that. And that just pisses Nominor off. He goes into a rage. He just starts beating the ever-living crap out of this guy. And it's crazy, because then you have stuff where he has to live amongst these people, and he's getting to know them. And he has this weird, he understands them, but I don't think he really cares about them. Though he does, he feels conflicted at some point, because later on, he gets raided by a bunch of Yuuzhan Vong, and he feels conflicted about what he should do. Because I think, deep down, he did start to care, but, his pride, his lust for power would not be sedated, and he chose himself over the people that had helped keep him alive longer. But you see him, there's in a previous book, he used a freaking gun to shoot, some of his men so he wouldn't get in trouble. He's killed many of his own men before to make sure that he never gets in trouble. He picked up a blasphemous weapon to kill people. He has no problem doing that, but he does still consider it blasphemous. And he still, does believe in the religion. He thinks the machines are disgusting, and he's willing to use them if need be. I don't understand. He's a very contradictory character. But I love it. I loved just, having... I don't think we've really ever had big sections that... there's been a lot of books that have already, had, from his perspective, Nominors, but this is, I don't know, I enjoyed, seeing this side of him, and I just think he's super interesting, and I'm betting he's gonna die a terrible death, but I could be wrong, but we'll see, because he's the only Vaughn that has gotten away in every single book that he's in. He gets out, and so I'm excited to see what may become of him. Kyle Katarn gets a mention. So we've always, for those who have listened to Matt Wilkins or have actually studied his stuff, they didn't use Kyle Katarn in the books for a long time, but in canon, Legends canon, he is supposed to be one of the, the Jedi Knights, running around helping out. He was there at the Jedi Academy during, Cornhorn going over there in the I Jedi. He was there during the Jedi Academy trilogy. We just never heard him by name. But here we get the first mention of him by name, which is really cool. And as I mentioned, Luke wants to go to Zanama Zakat, the living planet, to figure out what's going on. And try to establish, I think, a new sort of like base there, because Mon Calamari doesn't want to stay there. He wants to go to a new place. So Tahiri and Leia, they have a moment in the infirmary, and I just really enjoyed the discussion that they have together. Also, her dad's dead. The freaking Sand dad, the Sand people dad from the Young Junior Knight series apparently died shortly after that series. That's really sad. And oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yvetha. The Yvetha from the Black Fleet Crisis. So, during the Han and Leia portion, we find out that there's this race of, aliens. They're being shady and stuff, and you can read the book. I don't want to get into that. I didn't think it was super compelling, that part, but they're not afraid of the Yvetha who live nearby because, I don't know, but they say they're not afraid. So Jaina goes to go see the planet, and the Yuuzhan Vong just destroyed them, just completely annihilated them. And I just thought that was crazy, because that was one thing I was talking about. Like, I love the Yvetha in Black Fleet Crisis. Like, what's going on with them? Like, could they handle the Yuuzhan Vong? And the answer is no. They got destroyed. But at least there's one less xenophobe around, so that's cool. But I was really surprised by that. And then there's something that happens with the last remaining Yvetha. That was crazy too. But you can read the book if you want to know about that. Actually, why don't I just say, because this is spoiler section, the freaking, he blows himself up. I don't know, that whole scene was really cool. I liked it. Pelion goes into a coma after our heroes rescue the, well, at least the Imperials they can from Bastion. And then this was interesting. Pelion believes that Jason will one day be a leader. I just found that quote interesting. It was, I wonder what that means. If it means anything at all. If, unless I'm incorrect, he might be a master to Ben Skywalker, but I don't know. We'll see. Near the end of the book, we have a moment where Pelion's giving this huge speak, and he's like, the Empire will always strike back. To like the Yuuzhan Vong, and I thought that was really funny because the title of the 5th movie, Empire Strikes Back. I just talk about my boy Pelion. I love my boy Pelion. I love him so much. He's probably gonna be one of my top 5 favorite EU characters. He has to be. I don't know, man. Like, he is so good. I loved him in the Thrawn trilogy. I love him here. I never didn't love him. He is one of the best characters that I've ever had the privilege to read about. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him so much. And every time he's on, the page, I'm really happy. His big speech at the end of this book, trying to, tell them off, like, hey, we gotta join. We have to join them. Look, I'm sick of fighting the wrong enemy. I'm sick of acting like we're so superior. It's time to, move to a new stage in our life. Quit trying to be the Empire old. And then they even brought up the fact that Mara Jade used to work for Palpatine. And that was also amazing. How, you know, they just kind of connect those two characters together. Now she, you know, she like really likes Pelion and respects him, and I loved it. It just contextualizes a lot of things. Just makes me happy that I've read so much of the EU. And I like that Mara, this is a little side note, but I just like that Mara had a little moment with Jason, because they should have some happy moments together, because it will make the future even worse. I'll leave that there. Last but not least, at the very end of this book, they tease Bakura, the planet from the novel Truce Bakura. And what do they tease? Is I am most definitely sure they're going to bring up in the next book, because they don't just bring that up to bring that up. The Susiruk, the dinosaur-looking guys from Truce Bakura, who I know for a fact they're going to bring back in the next one, because you wouldn't mention it and not do it. And then there's an epilogue too, but I don't want to talk about it right now, because to be honest, I don't remember. I'm doing this like a couple hours after the fact, and I don't remember what it said, so I'm sorry. But overall, like I said, the formatting of not having chapters is really frustrating. If the other two also have that problem, I'm going to knock it down just for that fact. Other people may not be bothered by it, but it sure bothered me the whole way through. Especially since I like to read like 5 chapters and then put like a bookmark and know that like I've done good today. Instead, I just got to like put it at a place that I think is a good place to stop and just hope for the best. That's frustrating. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good things about this book. A lot of things that I love about this book. Some things I don't care for as much. Still a better read than Balance Point. Though, like I said, I like Balance Point. It's a good book. It's just in comparison to everything else, I don't like it as much. And this goes into, you know, lower tier, not of like bad EU books, just in like the New Jedi Order series. If I had to rank just those books, this would be on the lower spectrum. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Sharing helps out a ton. And I'll see you first with a short story during the New Jedi Order, and then book 2 of this 4th Heretic trilogy. And then we'll move on to the 3rd one, and then we got 2 more books, and then we will have officially completed the entire New Jedi Order series. And then we move on to Dark Nest. So I hope you'll join me for the rest of that journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.